welcome you all on behalf of CANASA and Security Canada to our weekly online learning session. I would like to say a special thank you to StoneLock for their support and sponsoring today's session. Today, I have the pleasure of introducing Greg Harmon, Director of Sales for StoneLock. Greg has spent the past 15 years working in the electronic security industry, specializing in access control, video, and security. Starting out at DSC as a technical sales trainer, Greg joined Cantech in 2012 to help launch one of the industry's first cloud-based alternatives to traditional access control. Over the last year, Greg has joined StoneLock to help them launch their second generation facial biometric product, the StoneLock Go. Feel free to type any questions you may have during the session into the chat window, and Greg will respond during the Q&A portion, roughly 20 minutes from now. I'll now turn the session over to Greg. Welcome, Greg, and thanks for being here.
Perfect. Well, thank you for the intro, Steve. Appreciate it. Thank you, CANASA, for inviting me to be part of this. Really excited today to take you through a quick 20-minute snapshot of who StoneLock is, what we're all about. Just for those that don't know me, I've spent, to Steve's point, almost 15 years of my career in the security industry, most of that time specializing in access control. And about a year and a half ago, I was approached by StoneLock to come help them launch the product I'm going to demo for you today. StoneLock, and let me share my screen before we get started. And you should be able to see it now. So StoneLock, we see people differently. It is a corporate philosophy. And so one thing about biometrics, if you've ever had exposure to them before, you'll know that, great idea. People love the idea that they'll use their biometric to come and go, and they don't have to worry about forgetting cards or their phone not being able to unlock a door. But what we look at is how can we make that process simple? Because you get it in place, and then the administrative, hassle is always a pain point for customers. And I think we've made managing biometrics easier than actually managing physical cards. And I'll give you a demo of that today, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. But when we say we see people differently, it also talks about our technology. So we work in the near infrared spectrum. And so we don't look at the visible light spectrum, which can cause a lot of issues for facial recognition. We work in the non-visible near infrared spectrum. Little bit of a background on us. So my name is Greg Harmon. I am based out of Toronto, and I am the Director of Sales for StoneLock. Our General Manager, his name is Yannick Brunet. He's based out in Vancouver, British Columbia. And then in Montreal, we have a small development team there. So StoneLock has a uniquely Canadian footprint. Outside of that, the remainder, so our ownership, QA, tech support, they're all based in Kansas City. We do all of our, the remainder of our development there as well. And then we are manufacturing our product up in Utica, New York. So we're doing everything in-house onshore. So for those that don't know StoneLock, as you saw on the previous slide, StoneLock has been around since 2011. And what StoneLock has been doing since that time, facial biometrics, and that's it. We were known for a couple of things. One, on the privacy side, there's a little bit of controversy around facial recognition, and I want to make sure that everybody understands the difference between where the controversy is and what we do. So the first point there is we are not going to capture users without consent. That is one of the hot topics for facial recognition, cameras pointed at public spaces and users being identified, or a picture of a user being loaded and being able to identify them without their knowledge or their consent. Our platform does not work that way. Users have to consent and enroll to be able to be authenticated through our platform. The other component is we are not going to store any photos or any videos of users enrolling or authenticating in normal use. We are just going to basically create a biometric key. I'll show you on the next slide. And that is all we're going to store, is basically the calculations that we're going to run on that near infrared reflection. From a security standpoint, this is the other thing that has made StoneLock popular, is we've been around since 2011. We've had a lot of people try and take our technology and break it. When it comes to biometric, the term is spoofing, tricking it into thinking it's a user it's not. And to date, we have no recorded cases of spoofing. Nobody's been able to trick our platform into thinking it's a user that it's not. And then what I want to show you today is I'm going to give you a demo. So those parts are I think, to me, must-haves. The convenience piece is, I feel, always been missing with biometrics. And I want to give you a demo of how we've solved that problem. The section of the face that we're going to be looking at is going to be just above the eyebrows and just below the nose. The reason why we look here is because it's the part of the face that's going to be the most consistent. You know, people will grow facial hair, people will wear hats, they might come in hard hats. It does not impact our ability to authenticate them because we're looking just, again, in this section right here. When a user approaches our device, we're going to flood their face with near infrared light, and then we're going to analyze what reflects back at our device. This gives us a couple of unique advantages. One, we do not care if it's, you know, full indoor lighting or if it's completely pitch black and all my lights are shut off. We're going to be able to authenticate users just as quickly, just as accurately in complete darkness because we are using our own near infrared light. The other thing is that from a spectrum of complexion standpoint, we don't care about a user's complexion. We are going to authenticate all users the same, regardless of complexion. So they stand in front of our device, we analyze what reflects back at the device, and then we're just going to store the calculations. We're not going to store a photo, we're not going to store a video of the user, just the calculations. And the only way that those calculations we call our biometric key, and our only way to get back to that biometric key is to have that user stand in front of our device, flood their face with the near infrared light, and run that analysis. So this is the device. This is the StoneLock Go, and if you look behind me, you'll notice I've got a couple of StoneLock Go readers also on my wall. My wife let me drill holes in the wall and mount those, so thank you for that. This is the device, just to give you an idea of what the materials are, because it's kind of tough to tell from a presentation. But we have a matte black trim around the outside, and then we have a piano black finish on the face. Our near infrared clusters up here at the top. Our sensor's embedded behind the piano black finish. So you don't actually see the sensor, but it's embedded there. We have a really nice big bright display. And then above the display, just to the top corner of it, we embedded a QR code reader as well. So on top of being a facial biometric reader, we also have the ability to read QR codes. And so we've been able to do some really kind of fun, unique things with that. Big point as we go through those topics on the right side of the screen there. This is completely contactless. So if you're looking for, you know, what customers are looking for right now, a lot of customers with contact-based biometrics looking to make a migration. So those are great people to be talking to right now. This product is completely contactless. I'm not going to have to touch anything to enroll a user or to authenticate them. Also, this device is ADA compliant, so we don't have to worry about users in a wheelchair, users 7 feet tall, and everywhere in between. We're going to be able to authenticate them as long as our device is mounted at the specified mounting height, which is 48 inches. But the thing I wanted to get through, because we only have 20 minutes, and show you that I'm very proud of, is how clean we've made our integrations and how simple we've made the process of onboarding users and making it so that they can verify on any reader on the system. So we are going to do this using a process that we call first read enrollment. First read enrollment is really a game changer for how we do biometric onboarding. If you think about how users are typically onboarded into a biometric system, the process for almost all of them look like this. User's going to show up to be onboarded. Then you're going to maybe check that user's ID. Then you're going to have to open up software. Some of the times you have to plug right into the device, but you know, best case scenario, you're going to open up the software. You're going to find that user in the software. You're going to find the device where you want to enroll them. You're going to have to click start, walk that user over to that enrollment reader. Sometimes it's an enrollment station, and it has to be that specific reader. Not with us, by the way. You get their biometric into the system, and then you have to go back to the software, and you have to manage where those biometrics are going to live. You're going to have to basically download them into all the different readers where you want that user to be able to authenticate. We have eliminated 100% of those steps with first read enrollment. So a user is going to be programmed in their access control system. And I'm going to do a demo today of an integration. User is going to be programmed in the access control system. They're going to show up. At this point, they're going to enroll one of two ways. They're going to show up and say, hey, I'd like to be onboarded into the biometric system. The way number one, maybe we'll still check their ID, but all we're going to do is ask them to present their card. This display is going to come to life just like your iPhone does when you enroll yourself on your iPhone. This display is going to come to life, and it's going to walk them through a really simple to follow step-by-step process. Typically takes about 15 to 18 seconds. And when they're done, they start their day. That's it. So they're gonna be able to authenticate on any reader instantly. So this is one way to enroll a user. The other way is if we're going to do face-only users, which has become increasingly popular. As soon as we hit save in our access control system, we'll email that user a unique QR code. And now when they show up, they're going to say, "Hey, I have this enrollment email." You'll say, "No problem." Present it to the reader. Screen will come to life. Walk them through the enrollment process, and away you go. So let me show you what enrollment looks like and how quick and easy that is. I'm going to stop sharing my screen here really quickly, and hopefully everybody can see this a little bit bigger. You can see where my hands are. What I'm going to do is I'm going to walk to the back of the room where I've got 2 readers installed, and I'm going to walk up to this reader here, and I'm going to show you that I'm not enrolled there. Then I'm going to walk over to this reader. I'm going to show you that I'm not enrolled at that reader either. I'm going to show the QR code to the device, and I'm going to follow the enrollment prompts. And as soon as I'm enrolled, I'm going to walk to the reader on the left and show you that I can authenticate pretty much instantly. And I just realized I was a little premature on the not sharing of the screen because I need to show you how a user gets in there first. So this is a list of all of the users that I have programmed in my system. And what I'm going to do a demo on today is going to be on Enterpass Go, which is Cantech's mobile app. So they're one of our integration partners. And I'm going to jump over and I'm going to show you Enterpass Go. So I'm going to click and I'm going to look at our database inside of Enterpass. And the first thing I'm going to point out is that it is mirrored to our database in StoneLock. So all I'm going to do here is I'm going to create a profile for myself. I'm going to click the plus button. I'm going to put in my last name. I'm going to put in my email address. I'm going to put in my card number. And I'm going to click save. That's it. And if I jump over to StoneLock, I just wanted to show you that user, Greg Harmon, instantaneously it is populated. Instantaneously, I got an email, if you can see on my watch there, with my QR code. So I'll show you what happened as soon as I hit save in the access control system. The user was created. We pulled down that user's card number, 27, the status, the email address, and we automatically generated a QR. So for me now to do this enrollment demo, I'm either going to have to present a card or I'm going to have to present this QR to the reader and follow the prompts. So at this point, I will stop sharing and I'm going to show you what that looks like. All right, perfect. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you that I'm not enrolled at this reader, and you should see it turn red. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing at this reader. All right, and it's red again. So I'm going to take my enrollment email that was sent to me automatically, and I'm going to present it to the reader. And the reader's going to come to life, and it's going to say enrollment initiated, enrollment simple, stand arm's length from the screen. It's going to tell me to face the screen, relax my face, and if I wear glasses, keep them on, but be prepared to remove them. And I'm just going to stand at arm's length here. All right, so now it's going to prompt me to remove my glasses. And you can see that I'm now able to verify. And I'm able to verify there as well. So I enroll at, and I'm going to come back onto my other camera here, but basically you saw I enrolled there. I was able to verify in about under a second. And then I walk over here and I was able to verify in under a second. So all of the enrollment, having to touch software, download users into different devices, all of that goes away. In fact, having to touch the StoneLock interface, also not a requirement. We can do all of this right from our access control system. I'm going to go back and share my screen now. Yeah, so that user is now enrolled and ready to be verified. So what happens at this point is whenever I present my face at any reader on the system, the card number that is associated with me, that I know that card number from the access control system, we're going to push it down to the Weekend or OSDP input on your access control hardware. Jump back to the presentation, and then so what we do is I enrolled at reader 1, okay, and my biometric key is created. It's going to live here in reader number 1, and then we're going to take that biometric key, push it up into the gateway in real time, so it's going to live there as well, and then the gateway is going to take care of propagating that biometric key to every other reader on the system. And as you saw, that happens in pretty much in real time. So that is the process. We are going to do that for 99% of applications for databases under 10,000. And when I say databases, you could have a larger card database, but a database of biometric users, 10,000 and less, we're going to follow that process. If we have a database that exceeds 10,000, we have a process there called Smart In, Smart Out. We will basically, the gateway will manage and keep the latest 10,000 users who have been active at that reader local at that reader. So our system will dynamically manage who should be available at which device based on where users are using the system. So as you saw, the integration, couple things to point out here. The integration is seamless. It is real time, which when it comes to biometrics is not always the case. What you typically see is a database synchronization where you will have a polling sequence, and then every 20 minutes or every 30 minutes we'll synchronize the database. Not ideal because it's not real time. You have to either go in and manually trigger that polling sequence. Everything we do is going to be live in real time. As soon as you hit save, we're going to reflect that change immediately. We have, and I showed you the Cantech integration today, but we have that integration with Software House as well as Genetec. So we, again, since we've been around since 2011, we had a lot of integration partners. This is basically 2.0. It's new hardware, new gateway, new SDK, and we're going back and rewriting our integrations and repopulating that library. So if there is an integration that you'd like to see, please let us know. If you are not integrating, it's not the end of the world. We can support a CSV import from any access control system. So you'll do a CSV import, and then at that point, it's actually really easy because first read enrollment still applies. So you do the import, we can auto email all those users or just have those users tap their card and go through the enrollment process. That is, I got it done in under 20 minutes, Steve. I hope you're proud. This is our contact details, sales@stonelock.com. If you're an integrator on this call and you would like to show one of these integrations to one of your clients, I have this demo set up. I've got the cameras at the back. I would love to help do a one-on-one demo with one of your end users. Hit us up at sales@stonelock.com and you can set up a demo and we'll be able to do a one-on-one with you. That's a very condensed snapshot of StoneLock, but I appreciate everybody's time. And I guess at this time, I will open it up to questions.
Thanks, Greg. That was great. If anyone has any questions, please type them into your Q&A window now at the bottom of your screen. Let's jump to our first question. Do you plan to integrate with Lynnell?
That is a great question. I'm going to just try and pull over my... there it is. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Yeah. To answer that question, Steve, yes. In fact, I got a demo yesterday from one of our developers of our Lynnell integration. So the Lynnell integration has been built. Basically, our process is we build it. Now it goes through a Q&A process, which might take a week or two. And then we have to get it over to Lynnell for them to sign off on and certify. And at that point, it'll become public. But we expect to have that in Lynnell's hands within the next sort of 3-week kind of time frame.
Great, thank you. Next up, what happens to information if the reader is stolen?
Oh, great question. And actually, it's funny because I did a presentation yesterday and I co-presented with somebody and we have this little button here that says Optical Tamper. And the person I was presenting with said, Optical Tamper, like, why would you have that? It's such a boring point. Put something more powerful on there. And because we condensed it, I didn't really talk about it. But we have an optical tamper on the device. So not only does it act like every other tamper on the planet where you pull it off and makes an annoying squealing sound. It will also wipe the database of biometric keys. So as soon as that tamper's condition is created, we'll wipe the biometric keys. When you plug it back in and reestablish connection back to the gateway and reset that tamper condition, we'll repopulate them.
Excellent, thank you. Do you plan support for RFID/mobile ID identification, ? All in one solution?
Yes, and in fact, we're capable of doing that now. Again, because we did a condensed session, and I would say if you want to go down and I can lay that out for you, send us an email at sales@stonelock.com. But we have this guy right here, which I did not talk about, and it will allow us to connect to an RFID solution or any third-party solution that speaks Weekend or OSTP, which is everybody. So yes, we can definitely accommodate that. If you have a reader that does Bluetooth, as long as it speaks Weekend or OSTP, which is every reader out there, we can accommodate you.
Okay. Next up, does a user's complexion impact their ability to authenticate?
Yes, good question. And the answer to that is no. What I was talking about that earlier because this question comes up quite a bit with facial recognition. Because when you point a camera at a public space and you're looking at visible light, if it's dark and then certain complexions, it just doesn't identify users very consistently. Our device, you're going to stand at arm's length. We're emitting our own near infrared light, so we're not looking in that near infrared spectrum, and then we're going to analyze what reflects back. So we do not discriminate. We do not care what a user's complexion is on both ends of the spectrum, either very light or very dark, everything in between. All users are going to have the same experience at the door. Okay.
Thanks, Craig. Next up is, what is the temperature range on the device?
Oh, well, I will say, and we didn't cover this, but this is an indoor only unit. We are working on an outdoor unit, and I don't have the temperature range for it, but I can tell you that it is designed to go indoors. We will have an outdoor unit. Our goal is to have that out the door by the end of this year. But today, this is an indoor only device.
Okay, well, you just answered the next two questions in that one, so thank you. Let me process here. Next up, what access control system does StoneLock work with?
So the short answer is everybody. We work with everybody. You can pull a CSV export from any access control plan. I think I've never come across an access control system that didn't allow you to do a CSV export, and then you can import it into StoneLock. As far as like true integrations go, we have Cantech, we have Software House, we have Genetech, and as we mentioned a few minutes ago, Lynnell is just going through our QA process, and it'll be in their hands within the next few weeks. So those are our four right now. Once those are done, we're going to keep going. We have another sort of stacked ranked list of integration partners. It's just a matter of finding the time to get those programmed.
Thank you. And we have one last question. How many users can be enrolled in the system?
Great question. And I'll just pop back to this slide here real quick. But we're going to store 50,000 users in our software. Every reader will keep a local database of the last 10,000 users who access that door. So we're going to store 10,000 biometric keys at the device level, and then we have a total capacity at the gateway of 50,000 users. What this means is that, let's say the network goes offline, server goes offline, everything behind the reader fails, but that user shows up, we're going to be able to still authenticate them, and we're still going to be able to push their card number down to the Cantech panel, Software House panel, Genetech panel, and so on.
Okay, and I lied, one more popped in.
Perfect.
Do users still have the ability to pick and choose who is authorized on individual readers based on access restrictions?
So this is a huge change from the way that we used to do things and the way we do things today. We are no longer, there's no longer any sort of notion that we are an access control system. It is not what we do. We are a reader. Think about the relationship between StoneLock and your access control system, the same as a reader and a card. And I had a reader somewhere, but when you present your face, we're going to take that card number and we're going to push it down to the access control panel. They make the decision. We do not. We're only authenticating users. We are not granting access. We are not denying access. We don't get involved in any of that stuff. We're really just replacing your face with a representation that pushes out a card number down at the other side.
Okay, well, I'm glad you finished early because the questions just keep popping in every time I think we're done. So I hit you with another one.
Yeah.
What do I need to do to integrate with Secure 9000? Do I need to purchase a new SSA?
Great question. So Secure is a little unique. What Secure has done is we gave them the product to certify, and then they ended up deciding that they want to resell the product. So you can order our whole price list, whole price book is all part of Secure now. So you'll order your stuff through them. They have a license called CC9000-StoneLock in their part list. So when you order the StoneLock equipment that you need, you'll include a line item for that. And then basically that's what needs to be loaded in order to get the Secure integration to work. When you order the StoneLock gateway, it comes with a Windows integration service. That little executable needs to be run on the Secure environment, and away you go. We are certified with Secure version 2.8 and 2.9, so the last two revisions of the Secure platform.
Okay. Does the StoneLock gateway need its own server?
Yes. Yeah. So you can order the StoneLock gateway in two flavors. You can order a hardware gateway, which will come pre-installed, pre-licensed, everything. And then you can also order it software only. We are Linux based, so we're running this in a Ubuntu environment today. Next month, we are doing an update which will support Red Hat as well, for the software option.
Okay, thank you. This last one, I think it must be from a friend. It says, Greg, that was an awesome demo. Do you train salespeople?
Yeah. Yes, yeah, we can do that. If you've got some salespeople that would like to go through, we can train them on how to sell StoneLock. So I really appreciate that comment. Thank you.
Excellent.
It's bad. I can see my own face in my camera, so I can see that I'm going red, but there you go.
That was good. Okay, well, thank you. That brings us to the end of today's session. Thank you, everyone, for joining us, and thank you to Greg Harmon and to StoneLock for their support.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
We look forward to seeing you. Thank you. We look forward to seeing you all again next week. Until then, be well.